I'd also like to point out that Dr. Watson's doing the stories somehow.
You mean Wilson?
Dead. Yes, him. That guy. Definitely him. And
Tomato,
definitely not...
tomato.
Ms. Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following.
Months ago, yep.
Oh, Jesus.
Months
tired.
ago! We've been on this ship for 3 years.
It was John Goodman. Or Bruce
No, not John Goodman.
Now, they fused.
They
John
fused.
Wilson and Bruce Goodman did the fusion dance.
I can't believe
Congratulations.
John Goodman is actually John Badman.
Hello, everybody. This is KBTV Under the Sun, and welcome back to the second case of the Great Ace Attorney. It is the day after Christmas when we did this recording, so we might be a little...
Merry Christmas!
Remember, canonically,
It is I, Santa!
Canonically, in the Ace Attorney universe, I'm on the naughty list.
It's true.
Bad Grinch.
Oh,
No, Santa's hunting KV down. That's canon.
That's, highly disturbing. I'm going to assume
You
that's...
better watch out. You better not cry.
So this is what Santa does when he's done delivering presents. Go out and hunt for
You
Katie.
definitely better not cry, KV. I want to be there for that.
Well, I know what happened. I insulted the good boy, and that's why I'm on the naughty list.
Yes, how dare you?
Well, speaking of other good boy, well, at least this good man here is dead, and we're still trying to figure out what the heck
Speaking
happened
of
to him.
dead boys.
Wait, where's the rest of his head? Oh, he's gone now.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Excellent.
Thank you, Miss Narahodo.
Okay, are we dancing again? Hang on, what's happening?
Well, we
Oh,
should
no, we're not
wonder
dancing.
first. Is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside? Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. I cannot read today.
It's the day after Christmas. No one can read.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Boxing Day!
Oh, my nog!
I mean,
Aren't you Herlock? You can box back.
Narahodo was put in a box.
Not against Vegeta, I'm not messing with that. I'm not that crazy.
Oh wait, I'm Hosonaga, right? But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it?
I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident.
Really?
Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident.
Is it? I mean,
Writing?
Hang
yeah,
on.
it's the writing. I'm thinking the writing, right?
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah,
Okay,
didn't
now that
they... Did he die? Did they mention that he died instantaneously?
The autopsy also, I think the autopsy mentioned that, yeah.
Resulting in instant death, yeah. So,
Then
that
how did he
probably is
write
more
that?
conclusive. Yeah. Because I feel like the writing still works, but I don't know
The
if they
truth
want the autopsy.
is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor.
That script. It's Russian, isn't it?
Wow, we're finally gonna talk about this, okay.
Mr. Hosonaga, did you not even, check that? You were in the room.
Right?
What is short-term memory in this universe? Indeed it
there-
is.
Maybe they're also waiting a week in between every time they talk. It was like, all right, break, everyone. We'll meet back here in a week.
I mean, it is a long trip to the UK.
We have been here for 4 months.
Indeed it is. The words written means wardrobe.
Well, actually, no, they're on their way to Shanghai first right now.
We have been here for 2 years.
Shanghai, UK, same thing.
7 years! I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case.
But maybe he was studying Russian.
Yeah, okay.
It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast.
Oh, really?
Russian. All right, look, no, shut up. You, shut up, stop. I know. Okay, Russian's a lot of things. Simple's not one of them!
Remember, we've established that in this universe, English sounds like Japanese and it's written in Russian.
Then Gear has to agree.
That doesn't seem likely.
Quick,
That's actually
change the
not
channel.
the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not.
We'll change channel, Zangief like this.
Sorry? What do you mean?
Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death.
Ah!
Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't have possibly written anything. Because he was already dead.
That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Osogi's cabin. A remnant of something that could possibly have been there, if what Miss Pavlova told us were true.
What?
So, Susato-san has noticed it too then. Putting his message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, what?
Let's see.
I know what it is.
Is it
What's
the
our
book?
evidence? A record kept by the crew assigned to the first class cabin
No,
area.
maybe
They're
it's not
originally-
yet.
No, that doesn't really have anything to do with.
There were no entries from 2 a.m. until early this morning. If there's nothing to report, they would put down nothing to report. But the issue here, and
Yep.
what was suspicious, is that they stopped writing entirely at a certain point. But I don't think this is what I need to prove yet. I know
Yeah,
this
that
is going to
doesn't
play a
necessar-
role later, but I don't know what else is it. This one, then?
Hang on, let's see. Go back to the autopsy report. Cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Cervical vertebrae, that's the back of the neck.
Yeah.
He's laying on his front.
Yeah?
If he got hit, if he got damaged in the back of the neck and died, doesn't that mean someone hit him in the back of the neck?
I mean, that's what we're going for, but the thing is, I don't have anything to present to prove that.
Well, doesn't the autopsy report say that? Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. That's the spine, isn't it?
To prove there was no... I'm gonna save the game.
Okay.
I actually can't remember what I was supposed to do here.
Do you want me to say what I believe we need to present next is?
Sure.
Okay. I believe we want to present the glass bell again.
Okay, that's what I was looking at too. But I wasn't
Why?
100% sure.
It'll become obvious in a moment. This part of the game stumped me a bit when I was doing this case.
What is your wisdom, Great Ace Attorney?
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor.
But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell.
Where did the other half go?
So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic?
Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw.
What?
If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Yeah, I had a feeling that's what we were wanting, but I was like, not
Dang,
super...
Hosonaga, you're looking real inept.
I was not super sure I was going in the right direction at the time.
I remember when I got to that part of the game, it's like, present evidence. I was like, what do you want me to present?
What is your wisdom, Great Ace Attorney?
Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass spell in that waste paper basket.
Like, I'm determined to get through this, at least the first 4 cases, without needing a guide, because I remember going through the first 4 cases and have not have an issue. It was when I started to go into the 5th case and after that I started running into issues.
Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova?
Especially with the amount of times I've already played this.
Oh no.
Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt.
Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's...
Lewis.
You are wasting time! Someone else was there? Duh, of course! We know this!
What are you talking about? Oh, probably me.
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yes. And only other person in cabin when young student died was you!
Yes!
But also no!
It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. The timing of the yes is so good.
You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details.
But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message.
Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message. To be precise about the details.
Sir? Would you mind?
No.
Forgive me, my dear fellow.
No, language is important. He's got a point.
I kind of miss his fan translation because I remember in the fan translation they actually translated Naruhodo's line to say, "Would you shut up?" As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. And in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. In an attempt.
And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it might becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died.
That's a cool JPEG.
Right?
But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions.
Yes, well...
It was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item.
You all suspect me, don't you?
Oh, bye, Snake.
Seaman Stroganoff. Snake Goku
like-
take a nap.
Now that we know the snake is there, we can understand why he has those facial marks. It's because that's where the snake always binds around him.
Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal.
So that's it.
You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. Actually, no one said Nina. But that is not possible! I give my tooth!
Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You are a great detective. You should know. Look through the eyes. Kevin Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. How many times must I say? Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Not even God himself.
I'm pretty sure God could have got it in.
Shut up! Or you want to tell me the killer can walk through locked doors? Niet! It's impossible!
He's right.
Wait! I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around the door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Isn't that's what Ryunosuke said and you shot him down.
Yeah!
Well, I thought it might be a good idea this time.
God, God, Susato, I can't look at you. Dread, are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap inside, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier,
Hold
so...
on!
Wow!
Don't reflect it on me!
Susato threw him.
Wow!
She did Susato take down right into the track of into a train. Let's just say
She
that.
didn't throw you under the bus. She threw you off the ship.
Jesus
Yep.
Christ. Susato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that?
Well, I can't
Please.
look bad in front. I can't look bad in front of Herlock Sholmes.
God.
So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside.
Not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. I won't even use my stand. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before.
I don't believe it. Because I haven't seen it.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you?
A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside?
Yeah, full stop. Just stop the whole ship.
One way does spring to mind, yes.
You really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, you should know too. Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen.
Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside.
The
Books.
bookshelf, yeah.
It was books the whole time.
Yes. Oh, I have to. Oh, okay, I can't double click. Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe. Yes, it was known as a force of inertia, acting on objects.
Do you have a science textbook in there? Like, hang on.
Is
I have
there,
many textbooks, Mr. Naruhodo.
is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Thanks, Discord. It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then...
Hello, is anyone in there? Shout if you need assistance.
Oh, that sounds like...
Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the boat flew across and locked the door.
Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of ineptia, if you want to call it that. Ineptia?
Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Osogi was killed?
Let's just wait this out.
Ba-dum.
The SS Bria made another emergency stop?
When I woke this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Yes, I remember that.
And then you accused me and Osogi for doing stuff.
And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Osogi's cabin.
Oh my!
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova?
Are you out of your mind? You said Bria made the emergency stop?
It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room?
Oh, simple enough.
Hmm?
Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm?
Yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you only to press the button in times of emergency.
On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity.
Holmes, what the hell?
Wait! It was you?
When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interests of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today.
Oh my god.
Sholmes, you can't just touch everything you see.
Yes, he can!
Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who...
Oh, it can!
As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life.
Do you always say that? Do you?
To be pressed, whatever the occasion.
What if it's buttons like on your coat? Do you press those buttons?
He sounds
Sometimes.
almost
I did.
proud of himself.
How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain! You are in much trouble now!
Now, sure all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider...
Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Osogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You are idiots! Bria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop even in middle of night, there will be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We
Like
have
murder?
evidence to support that idea.
Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo?
I know what we're going for, but I don't think we have it in our evidence.
Fascinating. Do show us, my good man.
Oh, wait, it's the book, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the book. Like, there's nothing written in the book, so there was definitely nothing to report.
Evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night.
Yes! Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship. Isn't that right?
Da, that is correct. Why?
And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine!
You rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there.
I think that's where it's supposed to go.
But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later.
Just borrowing.
I left it there on purpose! That is where I put it always!
The point,
Stop doing things!
the point
Never.
is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase, nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all.
Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... Da! Because nothing happened!
But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Got him.
Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Borea. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact.
Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish!
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself.
Oh? Why?
Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed.
That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody could sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night.
Well, no, that's a good point.
What of the throbbing?
Whoa, hang on, what's this game rated?
It's not that. It's not like that. You're
Okay,
fine.
alright, okay.
It's also rated T, so you know.
Lewis, please.
Sorry?
Archer would say phrasing.
Please rephrase!
I'm sorry? What do you mean?
Your head, Matt. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it.
Gotta get in there somehow.
Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. I haven't coughed in like an hour.
Oh, that's actually pretty good for you, Mr. Hosenaga.
No, that's how we know something's wrong.
Oh dear. Should we get you the ship's doctor, Mr. Hosenaga? But I haven't felt myself either. My head has been feeling very heavy ever since dawn.
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected.
He's right. My head's been throbbing today, too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. And then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head.
Sogi didn't eat.
I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe. And had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Yep, Asogi did not eat.
Tell me, Mr. Naruto. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you?
Yes, please stop reminding everyone. God, please.
Well, yes. Sorry.
The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on?
Well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals.
So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it?
Yes. In fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken.
So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all?
That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? Yes?
It's very relevant.
My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
It struck someone.
Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do.
No. Really? Is that really true?
The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a fancy word, designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it.
Soporific?
Soporific.
I like the idea of Sholmes. I'm super refined gentleman. Can't say
Fancy
this.
word.
Fancy word.
A sleeping drug?
Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug, so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop?
Naruto, of course that's what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea.
Are
That
you
is exactly
sure?
what I mean.
Precisely.
Precisely that's a far-fetched idea, or precisely that he's right?
Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator.
What?
Mr. Sholmes?
Surprise!
Well, Seaman,
Uh,
how
Yes!
was that?
Every member of the crew, except Hosonaga.
I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course.
You know, I realize we might need another video. Oh boy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals.
Oh no, Sholmes just said we can't do another video because if that happened, we'd have to turn on the crew.
For aiding and abetting a renegade.
Please, no more. I will tell everything.
You said that like 4 times. Eh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to just try and talk this out in the next video because we are slightly over, and I have a feeling.
no next video. She will say nothing. There will be no next video.
No, I'm sorry, sir.
Do
we're
not
gonna-
like. Do not comment. Do not subscribe. There will be no
Actually,
next
it'd be
video.
very delightful if you could subscribe to this wonderful channel.
No, you shut up. Back
You
to
subscribe to the
room.
smartest
Back to
moron
you.
as well.
We are never going to find the truth because of Seaman Stroganoff. Oh no.
They will strangle you through computer monitor.
Oh no!
What is computer? Do not ask how I know. I know.